So with the queen croaking, the thing you're gonna see a lot of is you're gonna see a lot of like mainly liberals. I mean, and some conservatives too, but mainly like libs and cons. And this is kind of where it's like why, one of the reasons why we say that like leftists hate both is because in many cases it does not take much to make a room full of liberals and conservatives basically look identical to one another. When you have a room like split between liberals and conservatives, it's very easy to make the two groups look practically identical. And it's because the whole point is just moral grandstanding. Like, it's kind of hard to argue against, like, when you're like, oh, you shouldn't be celebrating someone's death. It's like, yeah, on the surface, that's a base take. Like, but then you add the context of that person being essentially like head colonizer motherfucker, and then all of a sudden, it starts to look it starts to look a lot different, doesn't it? And what it is and erudite her simps people like from that side of the political spectrum on Twitch, TikTok, or just the internet in general, all it is like moral grandstanding. That's all it is. When they say, "Oh, it's kind of cringe, everybody celebrating the queen's death," shut the fuck up. Like, shut up. Like, it's kind of like what I said on Twitter earlier today, right? Where it's like a lot of those people, these like base centrist types. Like, in order to be a centrist, you basically have to take the cog out of your brain that essentially makes you a human and also fun at parties. Like, you have to take that and you have to like basically toss it out the window, because it is a very, in my opinion at least, it is a very reasonable response to someone's death to celebrate or be happy if that person was a piece of shit human being in their lifetime. And I said this before in a WIC panel that I was on not too long ago about, so where we were talking about celebrating the death of people because of Kevin Samuels dying, right? Like, hey, if you don't want people to celebrate your death, maybe don't live your life like a fucking asshole. It's that simple. And the thing is, people are going to celebrate your death regardless. At least make it to where, there will be no question. At least live a life to where there will be no question that the people, or very little question, that the people who are celebrating your death are assholes and not the reasonable, like, sounding and looking people. You know what I mean? Like, do that instead. But just know that whenever libs or cons or whoever try to sit here and tone police and shit and concern troll and say, well, it's kind of cringy that you're doing this. Like, just know that they're only doing that because really that's the point. They don't have legs. Those people, they don't have legs to stand on, really. They're pieces of garbage for the most part, and they literally stand for nothing except to make themselves look good. All right? Even normies are sitting here going, "Bye, bitch," to the fucking Queen of England. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. This reaction to someone like the current reaction we're having for people from the Queen of England's, because of the Queen of England's death, is a very, like, understandable reaction to essentially a piece of shit dying. Like, very understandable reaction. Shut the fuck up, please.